of the annual road trip, let's go! After a quick stopover in Paris, we were on our way to Lake Como. It was going to be quite a long drive, so I thought it would be nice to drive through Switzerland. As it was also going to be the last road trip before we sell the car, I wanted this journey to be more than just a drive. I wanted it to be an experience for the whole family and a visual feast for my soul. If you've never been to Switzerland, you should definitely visit. The place is a living masterpiece. The hills, the majestic mountains, pristine lakes, they all create a canvas that's just too beautiful to pass up. Passing by these majestic mountains feels almost like you're in a video game. If you ever played Zelda, you know what I'm talking about. If, like myself, you decide to drive to Lake Como, it's worth checking some websites if your car can drive through the low emission zones. In these zones, certain rules apply to vehicle access based on vehicle emissions, and this may include imposing driving bans on certain types of vehicles such as older diesel vehicles or requiring a creation of an eco-label for your vehicle. After spending the whole day in the car, we arrived at the hotel. I had a great pleasure to stay at the Grand Hotel Villa Serbelloni, which is one of the most prestigious historic hotels in the area. The rooms at Villa Serbelloni are all different, and each has its own 150-year history. I was very blessed to stay in one of the royal suites. For its peaceful and beautiful location, this particular suite is now the most requested. Over the years, this suite has hosted not only royal families, but also culture, art, fashion, and entertainment personalities. The moment you step into the room, you can immediately feel why it has become everyone's favorite. Let me show you around. The hotel knew I was bringing my dog, and they went all out to make her stay special, bringing in a little bed and accessories. It was such a sweet touch. Even though, generally speaking, Italy is not as pet-friendly as France, I really appreciated the hotel's efforts to make our stay memorable. And this is my beautiful bedroom. You can't see here, but I have a stunning view of the lake right from my bed, so I knew immediately I'll be sleeping with my windows open. And no, the mosquitoes did not eat me alive because I am super organized and I brought all the mosquito plugs. Wherever I turned, there was a new welcome gift waiting for me, which was so thoughtful and so sweet. I know some of my friends said the bed looked scary, but honestly I had some of the best night sleeps in Italy, so don't judge a book by its cover. And we have more gifts here. These are from the spa. And finally, here is the most breathtaking view of the entire northern Italy Lake District, which you can see right from my balcony. How beautiful is that? It was getting quite late, and even my dog knew that. As you can see, she's struggling to make herself comfortable. My poor thing. She just wanted to sleep, but we were so hungry. And it was already very late, so we just went downstairs to have a very quick dinner. Next morning, I woke up very early to enjoy a quiet, peaceful breakfast on a balcony. As you can see, it's still dark and kind of gray. This is in August, so by 8 o'clock, it's already very bright. And it gets hot quite early as well. After breakfast, we went for a morning stroll in the garden. I always suggest starting your day early when you're on vacation to avoid crowds and have the entire place just for yourself. Especially if you want to visit some villas, you should get up as early as possible and go right after the opening. On my first full day in Como, I rented a private boat. And the first place I wanted to see was Villa del Balbianello, which most people know as the place where they filmed Star Wars. Built in the late 18th century, on the site of a Franciscan monastery, the villa has been featured in many films, including, of course, Star Wars Episode II, Attack of the Clones. And though you will find no mention of Star Wars at the villa, you can't help but recognize some of the memorable spots from the film. We arrived at 10 a.m., and this is how empty the place is. Villa del Balbianello brings Naboo to life, and Star Wars fans will immediately recognize the iconic location from multiple scenes in Attack of the Clones. For me, a huge Star Wars fan, it was definitely a bucket list experience, and I'm so glad I finally made it to Naboo after all these years. As I was taking my last pictures and getting ready to leave, this happened. As I love cosplay and I was super excited to see Padme, I want to know why this guy looks like Obi-Wan, and what would Anakin think about this? After half a day spent there, we were super tired and we decided to go back home. Lexi was super chill. She wasn't scared of the boat at all. I actually accidentally ripped my dress while I was taking pictures. My heel got tangled in a fabric. I'm not gonna lie, I was slightly annoyed with myself because I really love this dress and now it's ripped. We went back to the hotel for a much needed shower Lexi had her dinner and then she went straight to sleep. She was so exhausted. The lighting in the room was so perfect. I had to take some pictures. And I also started preparing some outfits for the next couple of days. And then we went out straight to get some gelato. I've been watching videos of this Italian lady. She's, I believe, a tour guide who's giving people tips on how to spot a good quality gelato. So I've been following her advice religiously during my stay in Italy. And don't even worry about calories. If you're staying in Italy, you better be prepared to walk a lot. Especially if you decide to stay in Bellagio like myself, you're going to cover a lot of stairs up and down, so have a gelato because you're gonna need all the energy you can get. We found a restaurant at the very top of the street, which means we had to take the stairs all the way up. The dinner was fantastic and then we had to go back all the way down. And that is something Lexi did not appreciate. She couldn't wait to go back to the hotel and fell asleep immediately. She hopped on the bed, straight to sleep. I started my day 2 or day 3, depending how you look at it, with a nice breakfast in the room. I mean, you can't really beat the view. And then we went out early to explore Bellagio. My girl was still tired from the day before and didn't really feel like walking, and to be honest, at 10 a.m. the ground was already way too hot for the dog's sensitive paws, so she ended up being carried almost the whole way. Which, to be honest, was even safer for her because the day was very sunny, and a lot of people don't realize that asphalt and pavement temperatures can almost double what the air temperature is. Although you may think your dog's paw pads are quite tough, it's important to remember that they are still made of skin and can be just as sensitive as the bottom of your feet. As my dog is elderly, I have to take extra precautions and I have to be very careful with her, especially in hot temperatures like that. We take lots of breaks, we stop at many restaurants to sit down, get some drinks, eat something. And if it's necessary, I will carry her or I'll put her in a stroller. That morning, we visited lots of small artisan shops, some of which have been here since generations, and produce unusual, one-of-a-kind items. The locals were very kind to us, and all the shops we visited were pet-friendly, and Lexi was always welcome to come inside. Everyone was saying hi to her. We made a slightly longer stop at the hat shop because I needed to buy a hat. Due to my sun allergy, I have to be extremely careful with my skin. I wear the highest SPF already, and even that can fail sometimes. I really don't want to cover up on the hottest day of the year, but I have to find ways to protect my skin, otherwise it's gonna get red and itchy, and you don't really want to see what it looks like if I stayed in the sun without any protection. So with my new purchase and 2 layers of SPF 100 on my skin, we booked a private boat tour around Lake Como. We had a lovely captain who took us around Lake Como, showed us the most beautiful and the most famous villas around, but also told us a lot of history about the place and about the buildings and people. As it was my first time in Lake Como, I really enjoyed learning so many new things. Lexi obviously didn't care. She slept through the whole trip while we took pictures and had really lovely conversations, before ultimately stopping at one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen, with more than 8 centuries of history, Villa Monastero. A place you cannot miss when you go to Lake Como. Villa Monastero is an amazing complex that includes a wide botanical garden, which is arranged in terraces and collects many rare plant species. The place is quite small and can get crowded very quickly, as it's very popular with tourists. So as always, if you want less people, probably go early in the morning. Unfortunately, I couldn't stay long. I only had 1 hour inside before heading back to the hotel. It was our last night, so I needed to clean up a little bit, pack my luggage, and we also had a reservation for a lovely dinner. So quick change and back on the stairs. I also wanted to mention that I didn't go to the gym in the last 5 days, but when you have a dog, it's not a problem. That climb was tough. After a lovely dinner, we took a late night stroll back to the hotel. I believe there was some sort of event happening because there were lots of people outside and the atmosphere that night was really, really lovely. The next morning, everyone was feeling a little bit sad to leave. I really wish we could have stayed longer, but we'll definitely come back, even if it's just for the view. I came to Lake Como with no expectations whatsoever, but now I'm leaving and I'm genuinely impressed by its beauty, the amazing food, and the vibrant culture. So yes, I'm definitely going to come back. But perhaps not in August again. As sad as we are to leave, we are also very excited to go back to Cannes. So stay tuned for part 3. And of course, if you want to see more, follow me on my social media. I post so much more over there. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. And for now, enjoy the beautiful scenery of Lake Como.